conflict.
That's Janine creating conflict.
Also, Adam was a friend of yours.
And Adam was my friend.
Right.
Listen, I didn't hang around with the ladies on the show, for God's sake, you know, in the first place.
You didn't? What were you going to get off them?
Yeah, I mean...
But isn't it weird?
They're alleged comedy, although I like Tina Fey, you know.
You had a look of surprise on your face, even when this woman said, well, you know, Norm was supposed to be my guide through Saturday Night Live.
Guide?
Did anyone inform you that you were her guide?
No.
There was no such mentoring program at Saturday Night Live, was it?
No, she came in directly after me, so I wouldn't be her...
mentor?
Yeah, I'm not going to guide any lady through comedy. That would take me, first of all, I'd have to figure out how a lady could do comedy. You know? And then I'd have to...
Wow.
There was no
easy, Jerry Lewis.
There was no Big Brother mentoring program in place that Lauren put in place so that you could mentor a lot of the young ladies.
That's nonsense.
That's crazy.
You weren't buddied up with her?
Isn't it funny?
What?
You weren't buddied up with her?
No,
isn't it funny? I find Norm to be a very a great, pleasant man. And really, isn't it funny?
And usually, worried about, how people feel about him and whether he's offended anybody.
Really, Robin?
Yeah.
No, I remember that one thing because because Sandler was my buddy. And
that was sort of a famous thing, too, and there were other people who were way pissed off at that.
Yeah.
Well, you make a very good point. You're saying, wait a second, Janine Garofalo goes around bad-mouthing the cast.
Yeah.
And I'm the one creating conflict.
Yeah, by reading the newspaper.
First of all, that's a Janine Garofalo move. Like, she's someone who will say... studio movies are bullshit, and it's hacky and stupid. I'm above that, and then be in every shit studio movie,
right?
And like insult Uma Thurman for like being in them as well,
So you're working on a new Adam Sandler movie, right?
No,
I
you're not.
thought you were in the new
I'm in
one.
it. Yeah, I thought you said I'm working.
Oh, you're not doing any work.
No, that is I'm working.
It's not work.
No, yeah, we're going to. I thought you meant Nab. Sorry, I can misconfuse.
No,
yeah,
you are
going to do the Sandler movie.
Yeah. Now, what is this going to be? I hope that they use you properly.
Listen, I did Billy Madison 15 years ago. I did so well, they're asking me back. You ever hear that one?
What is the movie going to be?
You ever hear that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where are you going to play? Where are you doing
That's what
this?
those old dudes. You ever hear that one? You're too young. It's generation.
You know all the old ones. You know the new ones and the old ones. Do you?
That's what Jack Warden played our father in Dirty Work.
Right.
And he was the greatest.
What about when Trailer Howard said his friend was in the, remember? Trailer Howard was my friend, worked with you.
Oh, yeah. And the chick in the movie tried to relate to Jack Warden.
Right.
My friend was a co-writer on a movie you did, and she named the movie. It's like the 180th movie he's done. He's like, I don't know who he is. I don't know what you're talking about. And one time, Saget gave him acting notes. Which is the most embarrassing. There's a scene. Jack Warden is in bed. He's playing our father, and he's doing everything perfect.
Right.
And Saget gives him, he goes, I have just a couple of notes, Jack. And me and Norm look at each other like, Norm wanted to strangle Saget. So he whispers something in Warden's ear, and Warden's being very polite. Yeah. And then Saget walks away.
This was the movie that should have come out.
Right. So they're about to yell action, and Norm said to Mr. Warden, he said, Jackie, are you okay? And he goes, oh, I'm fine. I just want to concentrate. I don't want to forget my notes. But every time Jack Warden would tell us something, he would start off a story like, did you ever hear this when a guy comes up to you and he would punch you in the face?
He was an old school guy.
He goes, remember these guys?
Norma, you were
when he first came in to Dirty Work, I was sitting there with the producer and Saget or whatever, and he would come in like the fourth day of the show, and he came in and he was like, hey, how you guys doing, He goes, hey, listen, I'm excited to meet this Norm MacDonald kid. And I was sitting there. It was very embarrassing.
Right.
He goes, I'm very excited to meet this kid. I'm a big fan of his, when's he going to... So it's really humiliating, I had to say who I was, He goes, when's he going to come around? When am I going to meet him? I got you, you fucker! I got you, you motherfucker! Hey,
see what I'm doing?
Yeah, he got me in the head.
When Don Rickles showed up, he went up to Saget. This is 6 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And Don Rickles is Don Rickles. He's all that energy, the nicest guy. He goes up to Saget in front of everybody and says, Bob, listen, I was talking to Martin Scorsese. I said, Marty, Bob Saget's directing a film. The man grabbed his chest. He said, what are you doing directing a movie? Go back to the video show. A cat shit his pants. Get a fucking check. You're a Jew. What are you doing in Toronto?
That's great.
Jack Warden, when I worked with him on the Norm show with Artie, he played our father.
Again, he was always our father.
Yeah.
You like this guy?
I get like 3
No,
guys.
Tommy Smothers played our father.
Oh, that's right.
Right. Jack Warden played on something.
Jack Warden played another guy. So he was he'd by this time lost his memory, and at one point he played the man in the glass booth, you know, and he could do it for an hour and a half.
Right.
So you know, but he'd always forget his lines, and it was driving him crazy, you know.
Right.
And the director, these fucking television directors are the worst, you know, whatever. They're
Terrible people.
Not the pay.
not the terrible, just talentless. And they go over, they go over to him and they go, "Jack, you're doing fine." He goes, "Don't bullshit me, dude. Oh, you fucking bullshit me." But he couldn't remember, you know.
Yeah.
So we had this scene, and then I'd have to remember everything just in case he remembered the one scene, you know.
Yeah,
And,
there's pressure on you.
Yeah, so
imagine you don't remember.
I don't remember anything anyway, so
Right.
I'd have to make sure I remembered. So I remember the scene was we're watching a hockey game, you know, and Jack Warden's supposed to go. He's playing an old tough guy, you know, and he goes. So his first line is, "No, hockey is not the same as it used to be. You know, it's the helmets, you know. When I was a kid, they were tough, you know." So that was his opening line, you know. So we start the scene, he looks at me, he just blank in his eyes. I know he doesn't remember anything. But he's a good enough actor, he thinks he can fake it, you know.
Right.
So he looks at me, he goes, just nothing. Then he goes, "Nami, Nami, Nami, Nami." And then he's looking at, he's trying to press it. He goes, "Nami, I tell you, Nami. Now it's hockey, Nami." Hockey. He goes, "It's different nowadays, Nami. Oh, it's all different with the hockey. Nami, it's different. The helmets, Nami, the helmets." You know,
It was a disaster.
5 minutes later.
Yeah.
Don't bullshit me, kid. You don't fucking bullshit me.
So you strike me, Norm, from what I'm getting from this conversation, you are a man's man. Do you actually believe that women can't be funny? I'm being serious. Are you kind of more in the school that guys are funny comics, just somehow women can't make that transition?
Well, I don't know about you, but when I was in fucking school and shit like that, I'd be in high school, and you could hear peals of laughter, and you'd run over there, and there'd be a big group of people laughing and laughing. Who'd you see in the middle? A broad.
Surely there must be some woman. Tina Fey, you find
Tina
funny.
Fey, I find funny. Roseanne, I
Roseanne,
find
I was
incredible
gonna say.
funny.
She's funny, yeah.
But Roseanne in a very masculine.
She's very
you know
manly.
what I mean? I mean, one of her best jokes was like, people say I'm too masculine. I say, "Suck my cock." You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
So-
good.
But there's actresses like Madeline Kahn and people like that.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about stand-up comedians.
yeah.
It's hard
What
to
about
find.
even Laurie Metcalf?
Laurie
Metcalf
is fantastic.
Unbelievable.
comic
There we go.
actress.
All right, so you're finding a few that you like, yeah.
Fantastic comic actresses.
Right,
yeah,
right.
there's fantastic comic actresses.
Stand-up comedy is a different kind of thing for some reasons.
Yeah.
Why do you think it is that guys are only funny in that? What is it? What is the secret? Is it the penis? I mean, what is it? All right, forget it. We're not going to get any answers today.
No, I know the answer.
What is the answer?
Artie?
I mean, I just think that it's a man's world. You know, I don't.
Is that the answer now?
Yeah,
Can that be the answer? It's a man's world?
I don't know. Maybe they make each other laugh. I don't know.
They
Girls
do.
do,
They
yes.
do. Chicks have stories where they make each other laugh, and they're the worst stories on the planet.
I mean, I think in a way, like since the best comedy is honesty,
Right.
women are obviously way more dishonest than men. You know, they do. Whenever you hear women talk, it's all that they hate each other's guts, but they pretend to like each other.
It's so true. You're right.
Yeah, and abroad is.
You know, I think you're hitting into something.
Yeah,
You're right. They're phonies.
Right.
I see
Women
that.
hate each other's guts?
It's so true. You know what? I know women. They behind each other's backs, they'll come up to you and tell you horrible things. And
That's when they're funny.
And then you see them in the room together, and they love each other. You should see. It's phony.
And they have the stories they tell you is like if you're out on a date with a chick, you got to sit through like. They always have a crazy friend. My friend Nancy is the crazy.
When you meet her, you'll be laughing.
You're gonna laugh.
Right.
She gets on a table after 5 Long Island iced teas.
Right.
Dances.
And she's not funny.
Right, and, you know, and they think you're boring if you don't want to go dancing with them.
Right.
And you're like, well, you're boring because you got to be in a place where the fucking sound is so loud you can't say anything. You know.
Well, I have to say
I
something.
think maybe it's the caliber of the women you're with.
Can I say
No, they're all hot
something?
chicks.
Can I say something? I saw Sarah Silverman in concert. She was extremely funny.
Sarah's very
funny.
Yeah, Sarah's very funny.
She's funny like a guy, though, right?
Well,
Well,
one
all of a sudden you're finding women funny.
Well, no, I'm saying if you read any article about Sarah, it's like she's a guy's, guy kind of.
One of my favorite jokes by
She's a
her.
guy?
One of my favorite jokes by her. She said years ago. I think this is Sarah's joke. I blew a Mexican last week, and I've had the shits for 3 days. I mean, that's a joke a guy would come up with.
That
But
is
she
funny.
wrote it.
I understand.
Yes, but she talks...
Norm's wrong, I understand.
But she talks in a man's voice. She doesn't talk in a woman's. She's not captured a woman's voice.
All right, whatever you say.
Robin,
Right?
he's an expert.